the first national park worldwide. This was an achievement that was made possible due to its diverse ecosystem, and particularly its concentration of hydrothermal features, which till today tops the world chart.
It's known especially for its hydrothermal features, the geysers, the hot springs.
We arrived for distance purposes right now. 9 hours ago, Yellowstone just erupted. The world's largest volcano erupted. People have a hard time with cognitive dissonance. They have a hard time with math. They have a hard time comprehending the realm of nine. Benign. 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 Everything in nature is spherical. your head, your neck, your abdomen, your back, chest, 2 arms, 2 legs, 9 parts. 9 parts to your butt, 9 parts to your being. Deny your own existence. Nine. People have a hard time with factual information. There's 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 numbers. 10 is not a number. It's a variant. It's a mixture. I'm becoming a racist, right? They've said I was a racist pimp for a very long time, so now I'm going to act like one. If they don't say no, then they're silent fucking whores. I don't respect silent fucking whores. I don't chase silent whores. I'm not going to argue with silent whores. There's no profit in arguing with silent whores, nor is there any need or reason to fear for silent fucking cocksuckers. Their dissonance and their cognitive dissonance. I got 2 words backwards. Dissonance. They are dissonant. Dissonant, defiance, dissonance. Their defiance and dissonance causes them to be fucking silent cocksuckers. And they don't think that's that's a fact. I think it's assumptions. Right? Every time I go live, they think I assume things. Like 1 and 1 is 2. That's not a goddamn assumption. It's a universal law. Everywhere in the world, 1 and 1 is 2, except with the Democratic Party. They're communists. They think 1 and 1 is 1. Or maybe it's 3 or free. Right? Because everything's free to these cocksuckers, right? Free money. Free money. Right? I asked a guy yesterday over in Turkey why he wants to come to America and be an American soldier. And his response was free house, free car, free phone. Free to free to free, 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 fuck free, 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 free. These motherfuckers think everything is fucking free. Right? Free. And 8 hours ago, Yellowstone erupted. Isn't that amazing? right? So Yellowstone blew up last night, erupted. I was out there a few years back. Let's check this out. This guy does pretty good content.
Springs that come from this volcanic region.
While we've always paid much
Check
attention to
me
the
out on
tectonic
YouTube.
activities
We're
that
watching
plagues this
national
site,
news in
there's something
regards to
else
the
that has both
Yellowstone
fascinated and
eruption
confused
that occurred
scientists
8
for
hours
ages,
ago.
and it is the giant steamboat geyser.
Steamboat Geyser, the world's tallest and far more powerful than Old Faithful, is roaring back to life.
Hey.
Unlike others in the park, this geyser operates with a certain mystery that
Anyone with $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans may qualify for help from National Debt Relief. Minimum payments could literally keep you in debt for decades. $10,000 in debt can take anywhere from 14 to 26 years to pay off if you're only paying the minimums. And that's just $10,000. I know many of us have a lot.
has kept scientists constantly researching, yet without headway for decades. With its recent eruption akin to an underwater nuclear explosion, will scientists finally get an answer to their age-long questions? What are the implications of its eruptions? Let's find out. The mystery called Steamboat Geyser. When visiting Yellowstone National Park, it's easy to become captivated by the richness of the park. From the hot springs that are adorned with vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow, to the unique, gurgling, popping sounds of the mud pots, and the magical hissing and whistling sounds of the fumaroles, admire other geothermal features that we totally forget the presence of the geysers in the park. Yellowstone is home to the largest concentration of geysers in the world, with over 500 found within the park's boundaries.
Yellowstone is famous for bears, is famous for magnificent geysers, but underneath your feet.
Scattered throughout the park, these hydrothermal features come in a dazzling array of shapes, sizes, and eruption patterns. But the one that has fascinated visitors and left scientists forever scratching their heads is the Steamboat Geyser. This geyser, popularly known for its sporadic gigantic eruptions, has been the subject of research for many years due to its triggers, which have seemed to elude scientists, and its magnitude, which are speculated to be precursors to something profound, one that scientists are yet to place their hands on. As in its character, the geyser recently erupted again, with the power of underwater nuclear explosion, providing scientists another opportunity to study and possibly uncover the truth. Will they make headway with their latest attempt? But first, let's look at the workings of this geyser. The Steamboat Geyser, one of the most remarkable and unpredictable features in Yellowstone National Park, is an absolute marvel to behold, constantly defying expectations and putting on a show unlike any other. Unlike the famous Old Faithful, which erupts like clockwork, the Steamboat Geyser is notoriously erratic. Its eruptions are unpredictable, with gaps between major eruptions ranging from a few days to over 50 years. This element of surprise is part of what makes steamboats so captivating to witness. When the Steamboat Geyser does decide to erupt, the display is truly breathtaking. It can shoot a column of steaming hot water and steam up to 400 feet. That's over 40 stories high, or to put it better, the size of the Sky Tower at SeaWorld Orlando, engulfing the surrounding areas with massive plumes of water and vapor engulf the surrounding area, putting on a true spectacle of nature's raw might. What's most remarkable about Steamboat is that it can maintain these towering eruptions for an extended period, sometimes over 40 minutes, which is incredibly long compared to Old Faithful's relatively short, consistent bursts. And despite how closely park rangers and geologists monitor it, you can never tell when the next major eruption will occur.
There's been 3 major eruptions in the past, the super eruptions.
And that is what has left scientists in utter dismay and confusion.
Poland's team of volcanologists are using thermal imaging equipment to track the temperature of the 50-mile-wide magma field.
To have a glimpse of why this geyser is special, let's first understand how geysers are formed and how they differ from that of the steamboat. This episode promises to be enlightening, so don't go anywhere. Formative process of geysers. Unlike hot springs, geysers are a unique and more dynamic type of thermal feature found in certain volcanic regions around the world. While hot springs are relatively stationary bodies of hot water that continuously bubble, flow, or steam at the surface, geysers are intermittent, explosive hot water and steam fountains. Geysers are powered by pressure buildup within an underground hydrothermal system, which is then periodically released in a sudden, violent eruption.
Yellowstone National Park could be sitting on a time bomb. There is a supervolcano underneath the national treasure that's more than twice the size of the park itself.
This eruption is triggered when the superheated water below the surface flashes into steam, forcing the water up through a narrow vent or opening. The formation of geysers requires specific geological and hydrothermal conditions. First, there must be a heat source, typically from a magma chamber or hot rocks deep beneath the Earth's surface. This heat warms up the surrounding groundwater. Rainwater or snowmelt seeps into the ground, percolating through porous rocks and creating an underground water supply. As this water moves deeper into the ground, it comes into contact with the heat source, becoming superheated. As the superheated water nears the surface, the pressure drops, causing the water to flash into steam. This sudden expansion of steam forces the water up through a narrow constriction or plumbing system, resulting in the geyser's explosive eruption. The constriction is formed as the hot water dissolves silica from the surrounding rhyolite rock, lining the crevices and creating a narrowing passage. After the dramatic eruption, the geyser's plumbing system refills water, and the cycle begins again. This filling, heating, and eruption cycle makes geysers unique and dynamic compared to the relatively stationary hot springs. Now, in an ideal case, this is the pattern of formation geysers take, but the case is different with geysers in the Yellowstone National Park. The first noticeable thing about the Steamboat Geyser is that it has not one but two distinct vents or openings, one to the north and one to the south, spaced about 20 feet apart. This starkly contrasts the more typical single-vent design of most other geysers in the park. If you observe the steamboat, you'll see that each of these vents plays a unique role in the geyser's eruptions. The northern vent is the real showstopper responsible for producing the world's tallest active geyser eruptions. When the steamboat is in full force, this vent can send water and steam rocketing hundreds of feet into the air, creating an awe-inspiring display.
Like, no, that's a super volcano that is a continent killer, and it blows every 600 to 800,000 years, and everyone dies.
On the other hand, the southern vent has a more modest role, hosting shorter and less dramatic eruptions than its northern counterpart. It's almost as if the Steamboat Geyser has a split personality, with one vent commanding attention while the other takes a back seat. But what's even more fascinating is what's going on underground. You see, the Steamboat Geyser's plumbing system, the network of cracks, chambers, and pipes deep below the surface, is much more complex and deeper than other geysers in the area. Imagine a system of underground tunnels and cavities, all twisting and turning and reaching deep into the hot, fiery rocks beneath the Earth's surface. That's what the Steamboat Geyser has, connecting its two vents to the intense heat source of the Norris Geyser Basin's volcanic system. Experts think this deeper, more complicated plumbing system is what gives the Steamboat Geyser its unpredictable behavior. Before we get to the icing on the cake, which is the geyser's mystery that has left scientists bewildered and how scientists have been able to tackle it, it's expedient. We look at one of the things that sets this geyser apart from the rest in the world. Its eruption patterns of the Steamboat Geyser. Over the years, researchers have combed through historical records to piece together the Steamboat Geyser's eruption patterns. And what they've found is truly remarkable. The geyser has experienced 3 periods of heightened activity, each more spectacular than the last. In the 1800s and early 1900s, the steamboat was known to erupt on a fairly regular schedule, with major eruptions occurring sometimes once a year. Onlookers were consistently awed by the towering plumes of water and steam that could reach heights of over 300 feet, making it the world's tallest active geyser.
With the world in chaos, what's really needed is someone to finally make sense of human seemingly mad behavior, which is actually what Australian biologist Jeremy Griffith, who I consider to be.
However, this consistent pattern would not last.
to identify how high the water went on the tree. And what I figured out, Old Faithful's hit its peak already, was that it came to about right here, which is about 140 feet.
In the 1920s, the steamboat entered a period of relative dormancy. There were even times when the geyser went over a decade without a significant eruption, leaving many to wonder if it had gone permanently silent. Then, in the early 1960s, the steamboat geyser roared back to life, delighting visitors with a resurgence of its massive eruptions. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, the geyser maintained a somewhat regular schedule, with major events occurring every 2 to 10 months. But just when scientists thought they had the steamboat's rhythm figured out, it would throw them a curveball. In the 1990s, the geyser became highly unpredictable, with stretches of inactivity lasting anywhere from a few months to over 9 years. Then, after a prolonged period of being inactive, just when everyone began to think that it had finally rested, the geyser roared back to life in year 2000, with scanty eruptions happening once every year. After that, it went dormant again, then woke up with a bang in 2018 with 32 freaking eruptions. That was like the beginning of another phase of these eruptions, because since then, the steamboat seemed to have gone on a spiral, with major eruptions occurring at intervals ranging from just a few days to over a year. The most profound of them all happened in 2019, when it erupted 48 staggering times for the first time. The following year, it repeated the same thing cumulatively, bringing the number of major eruptions between 2018 and 2023 to 165. That is quite a number that astounded even Mike Poland, the seismologist in charge of the park.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Mike Poland. I'm a geophysicist with the U.S. Geological Survey, and right now my assignment is also as scientist in charge of the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory.
While its eruption this year is not as active as in 2020,
you might remember in mid to late September of 2018, there was a rare eruption of Ear Spring. That's the pool that's right here next.
Its heightened activity this decade has raised eyebrows in the scientific community, as it got them wondering what could be the cause of these eruptions. To clear their doubts, they conducted research. Let's see what they found. Understanding the steamboat's geyser. Now, the researchers have been digging deep to try and uncover the reasons behind these dramatic changes in the steamboat geyser's behavior. To achieve that, they laid out possible factors for the geyser's behavior. First, they thought shifts in rainfall and snowfall were responsible, but upon investigation, they found that these factors didn't seem to have any real impact on the geyser's eruptions over the past 6 decades. Having ruled that out, they moved on to the next factor, which was the possibility that these sporadic eruption patterns could be influenced by earthquakes, considering that major seismic events have been known to impact the activity of other geysers in Yellowstone. In their findings, they discovered that while there were some earthquake swarms in the steamboat's vicinity right before its recent burst of activity, the data suggests the stresses from those quakes weren't strong enough to trigger its increased activity. So, if it's not the weather or the earthquakes, what's behind the steamboat geyser's unpredictable behavior? They probed further this time, looking into the geyser's temperature, and this—
I know. Hey, do you think maybe fracking has something to do with it? I mean, I was out in this area 14 years ago installing a pipeline through Yellowstone National Park. So I wonder if underground infrastructure, drilling for oil, maybe there might be an underground railroad running through Yellowstone National Park. I mean, the military doesn't tell us anything. Ask Eisenhower. Ask the military-industrial complex about underground infrastructure in the area. Maybe this might be why it's becoming so active and no one wants to talk about it. Right? Blame the weather, blame snow, blame everything but what's actually going on. Where do your tax dollars go? Overseas and to underground infrastructure. Amazing.
This is because they had detected some subtle changes in the temperature and pressure of the fluids and gases beneath the surface, as well as slight deformations of the ground around the steamboat. To their understanding, they felt the internal hydrothermal processes could be causing shifts in the network of cracks, chambers, and conduits that make up the geyser's underground structure. And those changes, in turn, might be the key to unlocking the mystery of the steamboat's dramatic eruption patterns. But when the results of the investigation came out, they found that these alterations appear to be very localized, not affecting the other geysers in the area, making the research inconclusive. So, it definitely wasn't the temperature. Giving it a final trial, they thought perhaps it was the groundwater, but their findings also showed that there was nothing strange or abnormal about the groundwater that could possibly cause these abnormal eruptions. Having exhausted all their options, they finally settled with the geyser's plumbing system, but they hit a roadblock as there was no mechanism in place to check it. But that was not the end of the road. After a prolonged period of research, it seems there has finally been a breakthrough in this phenomenon, as, astonishingly, scientists in charge also noticed a pattern. And this may, in a way, be the answer they were looking for. Using a seismograph, Mike Poland noticed how the frequency of steamboat eruptions had over the years changed with the seasons. The graph showed that during the summer months, the steamboat geyser tends to put on quite a show, erupting much more frequently than in the winter. And that is because during this time, the snow up in the mountains starts to melt, and rainfall replenishes the underground plumbing system that feeds the geyser. This increased available water causes the steamboat geyser to erupt as often as every few days. But when winter rolls around, the story changes. As the snowpack dwindles and precipitation levels drop, the geyser's water supply becomes more limited. And without that abundant summertime recharge, the intervals between eruptions can stretch out for weeks or even months, completely slowing down the...
I never thought that the shirt I wore to school one spring morning would lead to a federal lawsuit, but the reaction from
geyser's activity, which in turn will lead to less frequent eruptions. But there's more. Recently, researchers from the University of Utah placed many seismometers all around the Old Faithful area in Yellowstone National Park, with the intention of monitoring the activities of the Old Faithful geyser.
The last 3 years, we've been doing some work at the Upper Geyser Basin around Old Faithful using these smaller seismometers. This is one of them right here.
With these seismometers, they have been able to create detailed pictures of what is happening underground beneath Old Faithful. They have been able to track the movement of the boiling water that feeds the famous geyser's eruptions. And what they found was astounding. Their reading on the seismometer showed that in the moments just before an Old Faithful eruption, the seismic readings show a lot of activity and noise underground. Then, right when the eruption happens, the seismic activity drops dramatically. After the eruption, the seismic signals start to build up again as the underground water system refills. This seismic data allows the researchers to essentially see what's happening beneath the surface, as they can track the location of the boiling water and how it moves before, during, and after an Old Faithful eruption. Now, with this breakthrough, Mike Poland is excited that this may be the solution to answering their long-held questions about the mysterious workings of the steamboat geyser.
Right? This is pretty interesting. I thought that the way they had it advertised, I was like, holy shit. The way they had it advertised, Yellowstone giant geyser just erupted with the power of underwater nuclear explosion. Right? They titled this stream to make you think that Yellowstone erupted last night. So you gotta really, like, I started watching this with you guys thinking it went off last night because of the way they advertised it. And then you start watching it and you realize this is just a documentary about geysers in Yellowstone. Oh, it would destroy the world. It would destroy the world. The ash, the soot from the explosion would take out Canada, take out the US and Mexico. It would block out the sun too. It would essentially kill all life. You wouldn't survive it. And that's what people are worried about in those types of situations, is survival. You wouldn't survive it. So I'm not here trying to drive fear. I did think when I started watching it, I thought the damn thing went off last night. I was like, what? Right? Sometimes I just go live and start watching current events. The way they had that fucking headline. I had to stop. I'm like, this motherfucker didn't go off last night. They're just trying to scare the shit out of you. Just trying to scare the shit out of you. I don't sell fear porn. You know, I try to make you think for yourself. I do sell video games. You know, people give me a hard time about my video game store. Right? So let me show you something that I stumbled into a while back. And because of being an architect and an engineer, mathematician, lots of things, I started realizing a different perspective on reality because of what I was seeing. And the more you see things, the more it changes your mind. The more you become aware, it shifts your perspective. Find the damn thing first. Uh-oh, got erased. It's such an awesome video. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. All right. Got this. It's fucking funny. Right? Because we're conditioned to look at things from the ground to the sky, but I inverted it. with the help of a few people that I became aware of through my own research. I'm not taking credit for this, but it sure does change your perspective about things when you're looking down on them instead of up, doesn't it? Why do we do the things that we do? Why was this building built like this? Right? You build with purpose. Why were they building this way then versus now? You can tell a lot from looking at the ground. Right? And it's not just US. Oh no, it's global. Global, Mandy, global. This brick is global. It's global. Yeah! Yeah! Woo! How y'all doing? I'm sorry to destroy your propaganda and your indoctrination, but I'm not sorry. Woo! You doing that? How are you doing, children? Right? Are we getting a clue yet? You like the clues? They messing with the sound? No, they don't want you hearing my speakers. No, they don't want you hearing when I'm playing over here. Of course not. right? Here's what I'm listening to. Here's the link. Check that out. I find that music video very interesting. Tom McDonald's new one, Me Versus You. Check that out. They're not letting me play it through. Yeah, they don't want me playing Me Versus You on this fucking view score. You don't stand a chance. That's too powerful. It's all about the theatrics, right? Theater tricks, right? It's all about the fucking cinematography. I'm putting on a good show. I'm an army of one. And I financed my ass myself. That's what makes me strange. I backed myself. I bet myself $1 that most people wouldn't talk. They wouldn't have a word to fucking say. They're going to be sucking on my air dick. That's a new figure of speech because I realized that there's 3 classes of cocksuckers in society. Just like there's 3 classes of people that see. But then I realized there's only 2 classes of speakers, and that became divisive for me. You're either going to speak or not. Most profound when the majority sound the same. So why the fuck would I worry about your goddamn opinions or your fucking feelings? You silent cocksuckers. Why would I worry about it? Feel froggy? Leapfrog? One day I realized that dogs can't bark at dragons. They ain't got nothing to say to a dragon. No bark. No bite. Nada. Look what happens when you realize what the fuck you are. Oh, I'm a dragon. Why do you think I named son Draco? My son. That's God's name. Don't you think it's funny that I gave my son God's name? And you deny the existence of God, just like you deny the existence of my fucking son. So you can sit silent in self-denial. Denial is more than just a river in Egypt. Nah, 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 nah. Huh? Caucus members sitting silent, sucking air dick. Who would have ever figured that out? Just cause caucus. My dick. I am cock. I am cause. I cause the effect. Speak or don't. Your choice. But I'm telling you, 99 out of 100 can't. Not able to. They don't have cause permission. Because I am ka. You don't have my permission. You don't ask my permission. See how that works? Permit, permission. How many people operate under a permit? And they got somebody else's fucking permission. Already. I didn't ask anyone for permission. That's the difference. I just started doing it to you without asking anyone's permission. That's the difference. I've always had issues with authority my entire life. I don't trust you. I wonder why that is. Anyone? Also realized through quantum physics and neuropsychology, parapsychology, dark psychology, draconian psychology, that the louder you get, the quieter they become. And I also realized that the longer you sit silent to a thing, the harder it is to open your mouth. And a lot of people suffer in fucking lockjaw right now. They're catatonic. They can't talk. Cats got their tongue. Cats roar and dogs drool. Right? So that's US, and there's more to come. Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah, down here, let me see. I thought this was really cool. It goes well with what we're showing you right now. Oh, this is for the Canadian cocksuckers, right? Canadian cocksuckers. Maine's right next door to Canada. Mainers think Canadians are cocksuckers and queers. That's why their dollars are loonies. They're fucking crazy. Crazy queers. Just ask Justina Trudeau about it. So when I talk about Tartarian Empire, it was a global civilization. The red brick. Get a fucking clue, you dumb tards. It's in Russia. It's in England. It's in Canada. It's in Australia. It's in America too. I used to call Bangor, Maine, Lego City. Because the red fucking brick. Must be the same culture. You fucking vultures. That's what Nazis are. Culture vultures. They don't create anything. They commandeer everything. Huh? They take up occupancy or residency. They didn't create anything. I created all of this shit. My blood, made all of it. right? That's in Canada, right? Boy, that looks like Bangor, Maine, and Bucksport, Maine. That looks like Maine. That's Canada. Oh, you motherfuckers. Fucking with me. Fucking put it on. This is Canada. Right? Canada's a fucking fork in the U.S. Hey! Hello! There's a global civilization. Hello! One culture. Oh, you're in with speakers? Oh, okay. You have to realize they were building these buildings with purpose in mind. Near waterways, hydrostatic electricity. They already had free energy. Granted, it's conductive of hydrostatic. That red brick is magnetic. That's conductive of electricity. British forts in Canada, right? These forts were built by the British Empire, right? And they're in Canada, right? Wow. Didn't the British colonialize Australia? The colonization. It happened in America too. Right? Now, this is just right down the road from here. The architectural people, the building materials, right? These motherfuckers have been desolating the planet, right? These fucking bricks, right? Fucking red, right? Hey, let's desolate the planet and then blame it on the children. What a great idea. I must be in Babylon. Am I in Egypt? Is that the river Nile? The fuck's going on here? What? What's going on, you guys? Huh? One pound, they don't let me know.
Here come the woman with a look in her eye. Wrist on leather with flesh on the mind. Words, weapons, sharpened knives makes you wonder how the other half died. Other half died. Makes you wonder, wonder. But here come the man, look in his eye. Fed on nothing but full of pride. Look at him go, look at him kick. Makes you wonder how the other half live. Devil inside, every single one of us, the devil inside, devil inside, devil inside, every single one of us, the devil inside. Oh. Here come the world, the look in its eye. future uncertain, but certainly slight. Look at the faces, listen to the bells. It's hard to believe we need a place called hell. Place called hell. The devil inside, the devil inside. Every single one of us, the devil inside. Devil inside, the devil inside. Every single one of us, the devil inside. Ooh. Na, 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 na.
Woo! All right. Huh? All right, don't forget, this video right here is like 7 years old. Right? This content's 7 fucking years old. It's not new. You know how many times I played it for you? Many. Right? Not new. So don't act like it's new. It's not new. The fuck? This is not new. It may be new to you, but guess what? It ain't new to me, buddy. Oh no. I've been aware of this since the age of 5. Thanks to Donald Duck Math Magic Land. Thank you very much, Walt Disney. I surely do appreciate your education system. Donald Duck Math Magic Land changed my life forever. And I bet it will change your life forever too. It's a crying shame most people can't think, don't want to think, or refuse to think for them fucking selves. I said that on my dime, on my fucking dollar, not yours, mine. See, I come to this equation and conclusion that you owe me money. I didn't come to the table acting like, please pay me for my time. No, you already owe me money. I'm not in a hurry to collect, though. Patience is on my side. Patience, Matthew. Patience. It's a commodity. Ask doctors about it. They're running out of patients. It's amazing. Patience, the virtue, and the commodity at the same time. The irony. Patience. Gotta have a little patience. Right? Patience. And you know what? I just stumbled onto something I saw 5 years ago, and I haven't seen it in years, and it randomly just popped up on my YouTube channel. Amazing! As suggested video content. And I'm scratching my head going, damn, I was looking for you for a long time. Right? And it just popped up as suggested content. The irony is amazing. I have to pray it for you. Right? I have to play this for you. But remember, I saw this for the first time 5 fucking years ago. Right? So I'm going to play this a little bit. And then I'm going to go into something that I wrote 4 years ago. Together, and it's all interlinked. There are all these varying sources. And I'm not even trying. Fucking wild, right? I don't go looking. I don't go looking for trouble. Trouble finds me. My Nana used to say, whenever it's you, Matthew, it's always double trouble. Right? So I was on this guy's channel 5 years ago watching this. And it just randomly popped. I've been looking for this content for a while. I was like, where the fuck is that video? Because this is, for an autistic person, mind-blowing. Hit the star, everybody.
Can you see the structures I'm seeing with the star forts that I pointed out to you earlier in Antwerp, around Antwerp? Was that not the shape of the star forts around Antwerp? Or something, I mean, I'm trying to pause at the right moment here. Has anybody seen? Normally, I mean, many people have seen oscilloscopes in laboratories, right? Here's an oscilloscope.
Horizontal.
No big deal. Right? We've seen them a million times. But he's doing something quite unusual with an oscilloscope. He's getting oscilloscopes to produce three-dimensional, visually, they look like three-dimensional structures. Now, I found this fascinating. I'm just going to click through the video here to show you the type of thing that was happening, and I found this fascinating. But I believe the saying is, I nearly dropped my lunch when I saw this happen. Now, the tones you're hearing in the background, if you were to play that tone, folks, the oscilloscope set up the same way. This is a bog standard oscilloscope. You can buy any oscilloscope in the junk shop, right? Set it up. He tells you how to set the settings, and then just play this sound, and this will appear on the oscilloscope screen. Now, I'm going to tell you why I think this has something to do with star forts and why it's important in a moment. Here we go. We are about to see the structure of star forts, boom, start to emanate from the sound and the frequency on the screen. Can you see it? Do you see what I'm seeing? Is this not bizarre?
So we go back to Antwerp. I think we have the same idea going on here. The reason for that is that here, that's quite clear to me that that is a typical star fort feed.
Could I amplify a signal big enough to vibrate the earth at the same frequency as the earth and the stone to form these patterns from the earth from above? This is my own theory, folks. I'm not kind of, it was actually my eldest son said to me, "Hey, Dad, have you seen this crazy guy online that's doing all sorts of weird music? And his weird music is making real weird patterns on the screen of an oscilloscope." And I said, "Well, hey, I got to have a look at that." And I looked and I saw this. And I thought, well, that's strange. It coincides with the research I'm doing on the star forts. And then this as well. And I see this shape. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And like, I'm seeing similar shapes. Like, I'm wondering, well, I'll let you hear the sound. So, he's talking a bit there. But I'll give you all the links for these, folks. You can have a look. I think, he's generating, look at this. Does that not look like a certain leaf that everybody would recognize? But to me, you see, this is more interesting because I've looked at star forts, folks, and they just don't cut the mustard with regard to this is a defensive building. They're not defensive. I mean, yeah, you can defend them, and you could fortify them, but they couldn't have been built for that purpose. They just couldn't have. When you look at them, it just doesn't make sense.
Hey, nice balance. can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I to rhyme and do like you? It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town, and I'm known as such, and this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know you can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, you can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit and let them know what's going on like that. Like that. Go a little bit just to fall on back. Let them know that you're too much. And this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? You can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell. School is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song or rhythm, making them sweat. That's what I'm giving them now. They know. You talk about the hammer, you're talking about a show that's hot and tight. Singles are sweating so fast, them a whiteboard tape. To learn what's it gonna take in the 90s to burn the charts. Legit. Either work hard or you might as well quit. That's word, because you know you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Go with the flow. It is said if you can't groove this, then you probably are dead. So wave your hands in the air. Bust a few moves. Run your fingers through your hair. This is it. For a winner, dance to this, and you're gonna get better. Move, slide, your rump. Just for a minute, let's all do the rump. Rump. Yeah. You can't touch this. Look, man, you can't touch this. You better get a hype, boy, because you know you can't touch this. Ring the bell, school's back in. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down. Stop. Hammer time. Every time you see me, the hammer's just so hype. I'm dope on the floor and I'm magic on the mic. Now why would I ever stop doing this with others making records that just don't hit? I tour around the world, from London to the Bay. It's hammer go, hammer empty, hammer yo, hammer and the rest can go in play. Can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. Yeah. You can't touch this. I told you. You can't touch this. Too high, you can't touch this. Yeah, we out of here. You can't touch this.
It is a thin line. The preachers are doing the pimping of the children, and the pimps are preaching to the children. It's amazing. The pimps are doing the preaching, and the preachers are doing the pimping. Wow! Huh? Yes. Tell me, where are these professionals at? The lack of rhetoric is astounding. Where's the conversation? I think this would be a great icebreaker. Right? I'll make sure they hear me all right. Right? Yeah, I can hear me. Can you hear me? They hear me all right. Yeah, I can hear me. Can you hear? It's amazing, isn't it?
Experience education in action at Unity Environmental University at Pineland, where learning fuels change.
There's no accolade for individual effort. None. There's no applause for individual efforts. Individuals don't matter. Your silence makes it abundantly clear. What are you protecting? Your religion, lies, dogma, ego? What are you defending with your silence? That's what I want to know. How does silence win an argument? All right. Do you know how much the USB cord is for the Pulse headphones?
For
The Pulse headphones? The white headset?
the PS5?
Yeah. You know, 20, is it $20?
Yeah, or cheaper.
Yeah. I said 10, $20.
Do we have the cord or?
No, we don't have the cord for that headset. But they're interested in the headset. But don't have the cord.
Oh.
That's why I told her essentially knew it just needs that cord. Yeah. So numbers don't lie to you about their intentions. People do. There's only 3 ways they're going to react. But in this case, the majority choose silence. They choose it. You get to a point where you realize for myself anyway, there's no point in speaking. What's going to occur is easy to predict because people aren't willing to do anything to cause change. That's why no one says nothing. Because if they said something, then they'd be morally accountable for what they're aware, and they're not going to confess. They'd rather convey ignorance to the issues. And this causes regression. And the education system is a regression system. And when light is really shiny in a dark room, the shadow and the darkness regresses away from the light. It's amazing. I invited you to participate, but I expected any participation and dissipation within 5 minutes. Don't sweat it. Don't participate. It only emphasizes what I said, the entire stream, entire thesis. Don't do anything. That's what's expected of you. Makes you predictable. And if you're predictable, you're programmable. One third will be silent and indifferent. One third is silent and shock and awe. One third that's an affirmation, silent. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to feel. And they don't even know which way to go. So if they don't know which way to go, which way am I supposed to go but sit? I choose to sit because no one says which way they're going. I don't see a point in going anywhere with any of this. Look how the majority respond to it. Mind blowing.